Good morning, guys. I am going to go ahead and start this early while I finish doing my prep in case anyone has any questions. Plus, I wanted to make sure it worked right. But, okay. So, don't mind the empty screen. I'm just finishing to make sure all my prep is done. Your bacon should be cooked by now. Spinach. Get all my stuff out. That's the idea. Make sure you get everything spread out so you know where it is. Make sure you... Yes. All right. Now let's see. Hey, Leah. How are you? Good morning. Let's see. All right. My butter is melting because my stove is hot, so that works out nicely. All right, let's see. Let's go big screen on that. All right. Make sure I got all my stuff out. Let's hit this without knocking my phone. Good morning. How are you this morning? I think I have everything kind of out and ready or close to it. This will be fun. Actually hoping this is something I can start doing regularly. Maybe once a week. If I'm already cooking meals, why not share it with you guys? This makes sense. Release the recipe Monday with the ingredient list. And then, yeah, people can decide if they want to make dinner with me throughout the week too. And this is why I love that Aldi bacon. Look at how beautiful that is. There's still meat. It doesn't cook down to nothing. Highly recommend it if someone loves bacon and is looking for some greatness, because the Aldi bacon is where it's at. And I've tried a lot of different bacons. Trust me. Okay. My bacon fat. Pepper. Hey, B. Are you ready? Hope you got everything out and prepared. Alright, get this ready. Finish melting my butter. So use these couple minutes before we get started to make sure that you have everything out, everything ready, everything where you know where it is. Because once we start, it goes quick. depending on what you're putting on the inside of it, make sure your bacon is cooked. If you're doing mushrooms, make sure your mushrooms are cooked. Peppers, make sure those are cooked a little bit. You're gonna want your spinach raw still. Sun-dried tomatoes, just make sure they're chopped up. Hey Lisa, thank you. Even though it's just ingredients so far. All right. I know it seems crazy to have all this stuff out ahead of time or like time consuming, but it's really worth it. Just because you're not running to the pantry or looking for something or realizing halfway through you don't have something that you thought you had. That happens to me. That's why I do it like this. Hey Malia, are you ready for breakfast? Okay. A couple more minutes and then we will get started. If you have a nice heavy bottom cast iron pan or skillet or something like that, if you want to throw it in the oven, I always find cooking things like this on a heavy bottom pan works out really nice because it gets a nice crunch to it. So if you have it, go ahead and throw it in the oven because we'll be preheating soon. So you'll preheat that as well. Okay. All right, my eggs are gonna go in here. If you want to go ahead and turn on your stovetop, I'm using one of my favorite nonstick pans just because it's one of my favorites and it's perfect for eggs. So go ahead and preheat that. You're going to do it on a medium. Make sure there's nothing in your pan yet. No oil, no grease, no nothing. Always, always, always preheat your pan before you put anything in it. Otherwise your oil will burn, your butter will burn, whatever it is. So preheat your pan first. Your empty, naked pan. I'm going to go on a nice solid 5. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and preheat your oven to 375. And if you have that heavy bottom pan, preheat it with it. Now the recipe calls for cooking your eggs in butter. I'm old school. I have bacon grease. Yes, I use bacon grease for everything. This is fresh this morning from when I made my bacon, actually. I just find that I like the flavor better. And it's extra delicious points for sure. But use butter, whatever it is that you usually cook your eggs with will be absolutely fine. That's not a must. Your cream cheese should be nice and soft now, because if you've ever tried to cook cold cream cheese, you'll understand why. It's really not pretty. So we will wait for our stove to get all nice and hot, and we will go ahead and crack our eggs. I'm doing a little bit of a scaled down version because I just did this recipe 2 days ago as well. So my measurements might not be exact as yours, but it'll be very close. Okay. So, good morning, Ashley. How are you? All right, so we've got our eggs. We're gonna add in our milk. And whatever it is you usually season your eggs with, I put garlic in everything. And I really mean like everything. Clearly, I'm about to put it in my eggs right now. Salt, pepper, garlic, onion, whatever it is you usually put in your eggs, do it. Season them. We know they have no flavor without it. I'm gonna do salt, pepper, garlic, onion. Nice and simple. And whisk those bad boys up. Right. So our oven should be preheating at 375. Our pan should be warming up at about somewhere between a 4 and a 6. I like to go right at 5. Empty pan, nothing in it yet. No butter, no grease, no nothing. Okay. Go ahead and open your cream cheese. So you have it ready. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to use bacon fat in my eggs because it's my preference. If you want to use olive oil, if you want to use butter, whatever it is that makes you happy, go with that because it will work just as fine. If you make eggs, go with what you know, go with what you like. All right, once our pan is warm, go ahead and add your grease, butter, whatever your egg lubricant is. Okay, so you'll see once your pan is hot, whatever it is that you put in is going to spread out. It's going to get really shiny. That's what you're going for. Now you can always test it to make sure it is hot enough. Got a nice sizzle. We are hot enough. So, add your eggs. Add your cream cheese. Try not to make the mess that I just did. All right. So you want to break up that cream cheese. I've tried doing it in the pan with the eggs, and it doesn't work either. There's no really beautiful way to do this. But with a different utensil. Okay, so you want your eggs to be scrambled but not cooked. So we're gonna go with a very mushy, smash up that cream cheese. This is why we want it soft. Imagine trying to do this with hard cream cheese. Not pretty, not pretty at all. Now, we want them to cook mostly, but not totally. We don't want completely cooked scrambled eggs yet. Not yet. They'll finish cooking in the oven. We just want it so we can work with it, a nice, good consistency. So now you have to make sure you have your innards ready. So we'll be adding that greatness in next. Hey Karen, good morning. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you this morning. All right. So you see how we're getting that nice mushy scrambled egg? That's what we're going for. You can actually shut your stovetop off. Finish our mush. A little bit less mushy than this, but we don't want them cooked through. If you have any bits of cream cheese left over, just kind of smash it through there. Okay, so in mine, I'm going to put spinach, bacon, sun-dried tomatoes. Whatever deliciousness you want to put in yours, it's totally up to you. All right, so we got a little mushiness, not cooked through. So add your spinach. This is gonna cook just a little bit, wilt up just a little bit based on the heat of the eggs. Looks like a lot of spinach, but we all know once spinach cooks down, it's nothing. 10 bags of spinach and you have like a cup. It's insane. Okay, and your bacon or whatever deliciousness you're putting in. Highly suggest investing in a bunch of these different size ramekins, by the way. Perfect for things like this, perfect for seasonings. Just, it makes life easier. You just measure it out ahead of time, dump it in, and you're good to go. Okay, look at this. It's coming together beautiful. Yours should look pretty similar with whatever varying ingredients you have in it. All right, now you can actually take it off of the heat if you want. I'm just gonna set mine at the back of the stove. Okay, next comes the fun part. So I honestly picked this recipe because it was an absolute fail the first time I did it. If you've never messed with this stuff before, it's fun. Yeah, fun's the word I'd use. All right. So I'll give everyone a minute to finish up with getting their eggs all nice and beautified. And something like this. Mushy, loaded, scrambled eggs. All right, so you're gonna make sure you have your melted butter. This is another thing I season. I already seasoned this. There's garlic and there's onion powder in here. Just because, why not? I mean, you have to layer in those beautiful flavors. What better way than in butter? Okay. Get your clean dish towel. Oh, thank you, Felix. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are really, I can't wait to see pictures of everyone's, by the way. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so you're gonna damp your clean dish towel. Not soaked, but wet it and then wring it out. Because you don't want it soaking wet, you just want it damp. Right, Elena? Okay, so we have our damp towel. Cut open our dough. Get your plastic wrap. You are going to want enough to cover the dough easily. So I'd go a pretty good chunk. I'm going to prep this ahead of time. This is where I failed the first time. So this dough is like paper thin. So if you get it dry, it dries out. If you get it wet, it turns to mush. All bad, I tell you. So we're gonna lay that damp towel on top of it. And we're gonna unwrap our dough. We're unwrapping, okay. The stuff is paper thin, like it's gonna blow your mind just how thin and delicate this stuff is, but this is why we're doing a video, because I could have really used a video the first time. All right, we have our dough spread out. You can go ahead and wrap over part of whatever it came wrapped in. Then you're gonna take your plastic wrap and your damp towel and you're gonna cover up that dough because we don't want air getting to it and we don't want water getting to it. So make sure you do that. Put these in. Okay, so we have our butter and our brush. We have a work surface. We have our eggs. We have a place to put them all. I recommend parchment paper because it's universally just fantastic, and if you're going to want to freeze these, you can just layer them on parchment paper, put them in the freezer until they're frozen individually, and throw them in a bag for later. But it just makes it easier with parchment paper. So we are going to open this bad boy up. We are going to take 2 of these paper thin sheets. This is going to test your patience this morning, my friends. Okay. So we're going to take our 2 pieces and lay them out flat. We're going to cover up our other dough. Careful, meticulously, but well worth it. All right. Now that we have this out, we are some buttering fools. So start with your edges. Butter all down your edges of your 2 sheets. Mine has a rip in it, but that's okay because we're just gonna paper mache it together with butter. So brush it all around the edges and then throughout the center. It doesn't have to be soaking wet, but you'll be able to tell what's wet and what's not. Okay. So I'm going to roll from this side since I have the holes down here. All right, so I use about 1/3 of a cup, heaping 1/3 of a cup, I guess. It's okay. You're going to plop it in there, spread it out a little bit, but not too much, just so it's not a big clump. Okay. We are going to roll once, so it's totally covered. We are going to flip in our sides, just like this. It's going to tear, it's going to be okay. So we are rolling, we are rolling, we are rolling. Ta-da. Now, if yours looked like that this first time, I'm really jealous of you. Because the first time, I had no idea you were supposed to keep it wet. Or, covered. So mine dried out. And then I made the mistake of getting it wet, and then it just turned to mush. It was all bad. Like a failed paper mache project. So, yeah, this takes a little bit of finesse and a little bit of patience, but it's so worth it. So you're going to take your finished one. Oh. We're going to put the parchment paper over to the side. We're going to start our next one. How's it looking? How does yours look? Tell me about your first roll. Let's see, 2 more pieces. Okay. This one is all just mangled up. Okay. Butter. This one might not be pretty. My sheets are not cooperating with me here. So it's not just you if you're having a problem with this stuff. It truly is a test of your patience. But you just gotta conquer it, because after you do it, people will look at you like you're a superhero once they know that you can do this. See, mine's looking kind of paper mache right there. But it's okay. So I'm just gonna brush it all down. We're gonna fill up another scoop of this gloriousness. Now, if you wanted to add cheese or whatever else in here, you absolutely could. The good thing about this is the base, and once you have the base conquered, okay, we're rolling over. We're flipping most of it. We're flipping our sides, and we're rolling. You can swap out ingredients for whatever it is that you like or don't like. I have done mushrooms, green peppers would be a good idea. I particularly don't like green peppers, but if that's your jam, you can absolutely do that in here. See, just when it starts crumbling, just butter it down. I mean, is there any better way to do things than just soak it in butter, glorious butter? Okay. Now this recipe will make about 10 hand pies. So you want to throw some in your preheated oven. You can go ahead and do that. You're gonna cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You're gonna check it. Clearly everything is cooked for the most part inside. You're just heating it up. But it'll be nice and toasty on the outside. I have some that are almost done for you to see. Okay, we are buttering. We are buttering. So much butter. Okay. But this butter will come in greatly handy once it cooks because it gives it this nice crunchy greatness. But this is why I said to season this butter, because imagine just using regular butter on here. You gotta season it. Add some flavor to your life. All right, we're scooping. We are scooping. That last one was a little small, so of course this one's going to be obnoxiously big because that's how it works, right? Okay. So, got your first wrap all the way around. Flipping our sides in. Let me just keep rolling. Oh, you have no idea how happy it makes me when these come out so beautiful, because I have had such fails with them. So this is like a huge accomplishment for me. I just want you to try to imagine doing this recipe without a video. Trying to read instructions really doesn't justify what a situation this is. Make the phyllo by hand because frozen. Oh yeah, I could not imagine making that stuff by hand. Not a chance. That's insane. Those women are just rock stars. Oh, now I kind of want some baklava though. And like I said earlier, before anybody was really on, because I was just kind of talking to myself, this is something I'm thinking about maybe doing once a week. I'll let you guys know on Mondays when I plan out my meals, because yes, I'm that person that plans my meals for the week on Monday. But letting you know, hey, look, this is the recipe I'm going to be making this week. Here's the ingredients if you want to make dinner with me. And yeah, if I'm making this stuff anyway, why not let you guys come hang out with me and enjoy this deliciousness? And then my dear, awesome, great friend and great cook Elena also said that she'd be willing to rock out some videos. And she's legit, like, she went to culinary school, so she's got all the legitness behind her. I'm just make it up as you go and ask people that are smarter than you. So, okay. How am I doing with this stuff, by the way, Elena, since you didn't actually get to see me working with it the other day? Of course, now that I said something, this one is going to go to absolute crap. But, yeah. Look at that. I saved it. I saved it. Now, you may have a lot of leftover butter. The first time I did this, I completely underestimated how much butter I was really going to need. So, good thing about butter is it doesn't go bad. It's melted, so let it harden up and you've got some seasoned butter to use for whatever. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see. It's the buttery fingers. I think that's why that damp towel comes in such great use. It's to keep this stuff dry and moist, but also for my dirty, gross little greasy fingers. Okay. All of the butter. Now I'm really wondering what I'm going to make for dinner this week. Because I went to Costco and stocked up on meat because I am that person. Team vacuum seal, I'm all about it. So I know tonight is steaks because yes, steaks are life. And which I have to say, before meeting Renato, I did not know anything about steaks like I do now. Your girl can pick out some good steaks now. All of a sudden, I've learned some stuff. I'm kind of happy about it and proud of myself all at the same time because yeah, I've gotten pretty good at something I really had no knowledge of prior. But I go down there and get enough meat. Let's see, I got meat for I think it was like 7 different meals plus leftovers, all in one trip. So there's steaks for 2 meals. I got ribs, which I'll make on tomorrow. Marinate those today for tomorrow. I got pork belly because if you've ever had sticky pork belly, you'll completely understand. It's really a thing of beauty, a delicious thing of beauty. So I got stuff to do that for 2 meals. I had wings last night, and I think that's it. But yeah, so all of that meat in one trip. Now I just have to plan out what deliciousness we're eating this week and what is able to be cooked in a timely manner on camera. Because there's that. If there's, 6 hours of cooking in between, it makes it a little complicated to do a video on it. Because clearly I'm having, a hard enough time talking to myself during this, so could you imagine for any longer? Okay. We should have a good amount of them done by now. Got 5 done. Yours in the oven should be cooking up nicely. Go ahead and check them if you haven't yet, just to make sure. I'm going to check mine as soon as I wrap this beauty up. Okay. How's everyone's greasy fingers, like butter fingers, literally butter fingers. And the little egg and spinach. Okay. And we're rolling. That one's a little rippy. Butter her up. Takes the whole term butter her up to a different level. But as you can see, once you get it wet with the butter, it does just kind of cling to itself. That's exactly why my first batch looked like paper mache. It was like buttery paper mache. It was all bad. So bad. But these store great in the freezer. You just pop them in the oven. If they've been frozen, you're going to cook them at 375 for about 20 minutes. 25, depending on how big they are and what you're cooking them on, all those fine details. Yeah, I did not cover my dough this last time. All right, so let's get the next one going. Oh no. This whole roll, the whole roll has just a cut in the seam. It happens. Having buttery fingers really doesn't help, though. I can tell you that. All right. I always start with the sides because it seems that it, like most things, starts drying out from the sides. Works its way in. Okay. This one creeped on the page on me. On the board, let's see. Yeah. Oh, yes. Kind of messy, but oh, there it went. Crap. All right, so you're probably nearing the end of your goodness. Good enough to do one more in here after this. Okay, we're flipping. We're rolling. That cut in my dough is really not working with me the best, but this is authenticity. It's not always pretty. It can't always be pretty. Then you would never appreciate the beauty, the real beauty. If everything was beautiful all the time. All right, we're gonna do one more. And then I will I'll roll my dough back up and put it in a Ziploc bag in the fridge because, as you know, it will dry out. But now that you know how to do this, you'll be able to rock it out again. Oh, I have a piece finally. At the very last one that's not ripped. Go figure. Clearly I should have started from the other side of this roll. So when I put them in the freezer, I put them on a cookie sheet on the parchment paper or something along those lines, a plate, whatever you can fit in your freezer, because I know how it is. And then just wait for them to individually freeze and throw them in a Ziploc bag. And you'll have them to just throw in the oven. You'll throw them in the oven directly out of the freezer. Don't try to defrost them and then heat them. I'm probably thinking that wouldn't go well. Haven't tried it myself. Wouldn't recommend it though. Okay. So this last one here. Of course, this is the one that makes a mess. Why would I expect anything less? All right. We are rolling and folding. Huh, beautiful. All right. So would you look at that? Me, well at least me, you shouldn't be far behind. You may be ahead of me and rocked out all of yours already. But I just finished my last one. Okay, now let's see how these beauties in here are. Oh, let's cover up our dough. Okay. These are looking very nice, so I'm doing them in a cast iron because I am team cast iron. I do everything in cast iron. Look at those. That's gonna burn because there's butter on it. Let's just see how warm they are. When in doubt, thermometer. I like 97.3, so I'm going back in for a little bit because I want it toasty. Clean up your dough before it dries out on the counter. You can leave the plastic wrap on it if you want, if it's in there. I've only got a couple sheets left in here, but it will be enough to rock out a couple the next time I need some, or it'll go towards baklava next time I make it. Okay, so I'm gonna roll that bad boy up. Now let's look at our guys here. So your finished product should be something along these. Hey Lisa, I'm so glad that you came to see this beautiful finished project. Slight mess, but well worth it, I have to say. I can't wait to see how everyone's is coming out. I can't wait to taste them. I can't wait to hear what you put inside of them. I'm excited about all of it. All of it, I tell you. Hopefully you've learned a couple tips. Tips that you didn't ask for, but I hope you learned them, of things to do and not do in the kitchen, because that's essential. I hope it's delicious. I hope it looks delicious. It tastes delicious. I hope it was fun and easy. Ah, beautiful. This damp towel is life, by the way, because my buttery fingers. And this isn't a half an hour. Guys, you made a from scratch delicious breakfast in under half an hour. This is fantastic. And this is not just breakfast for today. This is a week's plus worth of breakfast, depending on how many people are in your family, how many people eat. Like a half an hour, and you rocked this out. I'm so proud of you guys, like all of you. I'm proud of anyone now and anyone in the future that watches this, because you guys are pretty much just all around badasses. I especially want to see them if they're a fail, because it would honestly make me feel better about myself. Because yeah, they're not all pretty. And I'd love to hear if you guys would be interested in me doing dinner once a week. Just if I'm making it anyway, why not join me and make dinner for yourselves? Let's show you these guys. Oh yeah, now we're getting nice. Look at that. Look at how beautiful. This is a meal, by the way. Like you don't need to eat anything else. Like this is legit and the entire meal that you need for the day. Well, not for the day, but for breakfast. And I calculated it out, and you're right around between, depending on what you put inside. I used full fat regular bacon, so if you swap that out for turkey bacon or ham or something, it'd be less. But you're under 350 calories for one of these, for all of your breakfast essentials. And it's a delicious little crispy pouch. So see why that butter is so helpful? And that crunch. So it's like puff pastry. I don't know what the difference is actually between this and puff pastry, because I've never worked with puff pastry. This might actually be a version of puff pastry. I don't know. Now, of course, you can use low-fat cream cheese. I use regular cream cheese, so of course that will also cut down on your calories some. The spinach is essential, and I always recommend that you put spinach in it, because Spinach is a green that easily just takes on the flavor of whatever you're using it in or with, so why not get your greens that way? At least a couple of them. And it makes things look pretty. So, that being said, guys, you rocked out breakfast, and I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait to see pictures, so everyone, please, please, please post pictures of what yours looks like, and tell me how it is, because I'm super curious. And tell me how this went. Did you enjoy this? Did you like this? Is this something I should do more of? Yeah. So I am going to leave you to finish your Sunday. It's Sunday now. To finish your Sunday. Enjoy this absolutely beautiful weather. Enjoy your breakfast. And thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And have a wonderful rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you.